Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Jarard Arnold, and also go by the artist named Jarard Kenneth. As a disclaimer, I am not per se switching names or personas, be it that my government name is Jarard Kenneth Andrew Arnold. In any case, I'm extremely elated to present/submit my application to be a part of the Empire team as an audio production engineer. Now, before I actually begin, allow me to share my sentiment that CEO Shami Ghazi also has.
And it was, I think it was just the way my brain was wired and my personality and the way I was raised. I always thought that my talent was better served for the success of many than myself. And that's why I called my company Empire. That was the whole concept behind it. It's a self-preserved ecosystem where we don't depend on anybody else and all the resources are internal, and we've built like our own ecosystem where artists can live and breathe.
Ghazi Shami was, is, and will always be a music lover first, and a businessman second, which makes my service to Empire even more fulfilling. Music lovers such as himself and I are either looking for the next vibe or are in constant appreciation of the amount of work that is heard in the past and present distribution of music. It is said that money makes the world go round, but music or sounds in general makes the world alive. Being a singer, songwriter, music producer, and now a university graduate, music has affected my life in countless ways. It has affected my childhood growing up, singing in church, to writing and producing as a teenager, to being a full-fledged indie artist, going through the trials and errors of the DIY audio production experience prior to enrolling at Full Sail. My personal story has even led me to write and publish a book entitled Why Love Was Created for Relationship. And with Empire, one of the elements required to working with the company is having a story. Now, although Mr. Shami primarily meant this for his artists, as an audio production engineer, I should be able to relate with the artist to some capacity in order to help bring things out of them, to have those things be felt in the music while mixing and mastering. During my studies as an audio production engineer for Full Sail University, I've been immersed in and exposed to the history of music, contemporary production techniques, advanced mixing techniques, audio post-production, fundamentals of music business, and much more. Listening to the music and having the vocals sit in the mix correctly isn't good enough. And as an audio production engineer, one must be capable of enabling the music to have its own living and breathing existence in the ears of the listener. Overall, Empire is a label that relishes in authentic cultural expressions through music, and it will not be able to maintain its exposure if the quality of the music deteriorates. As an audio production engineer, it is my primary job to bring music from a 2D listening experience to that of a 4D experience. Yes, 4D, not just 3D. All of my experience, which includes the experience of pre-enrollment at Full Sail, showcases my humble beginnings to being taught by the very best in the music entertainment industry. In sharing my personal bodies of work and scholastic portfolio projects, I would like to direct you to my website, which is www.jarardkenneth.com/projects and portfolio. In this portfolio, you will see that I have obtained a thorough understanding of Pro Tools, Ableton, and Logic. You will also see that I have the capability to integrate knowledge of said DAWs with sufficient knowledge of FL Studio and Reaper DAWs. You will also see the creativity and willingness to work in various music genres, the ability to accommodate crafted audio works to visual presentations and designs. You will see that I have also acquired knowledge to cultivate a structured business plan for entrepreneur endeavors. And finally, gain proper strategic steps towards networking with professionals in the entertainment industry. Going back to one of my initial statements in reference to music being a living and breathing entity, and also having music to give this 4D experience, allow me to share something that I said with my students when I was teaching as a high school associate teacher a few years ago. I would tell my students that music is an expression for a culture and the reflection of a culture. For a music recording label, it's a collective of expressions of more than one culture. And the beauty of being an audio production engineer is being a bit of a connoisseur of those cultural sounds, to be able to breathe life into those mixes and bring forth a greater expressiveness of the ideas that artists and composers have. In closing, I would like to submit a few thoughts from individuals I have worked with prior to Full Sail and graduating and afterward.
So, this Pack the Innovator. Yo, I love working with Jarard Kenneth because every time I work with him, it's like, man, we're like the dream team. He has an amazing ear, plus he raps and he sings. A person like me that can't sing, he can make it work for me. Plus that dude has like an extraordinary ear. Like if I tell him, hey Jarard, I want to add this to this song, he'll be like, okay, we could do it. Or he could be like, hey Pat, this is a better idea, let's try this. Or when I'm collaborating with him far as production wise, when I send him a beat, he remixes it or he adds on to what I'm doing. And he adds his own flavor, his own style, and own taste to every single thing.
So when you do that, that's actually enough breath. If you take enough breath during that point and then let go, it should come out clear, it should come out strong, you should be straight. All right, so let's work on your breathing real quick. $2 million. Okay, and then just, I don't really know how you stand, but make sure you're sitting up. So yeah, like sit up, because it's different when you're singing. Like if you're standing singing, you stand a certain way. Oh, for real, like this is really
after me because I'm typing.
Hello, how's it going? This is Adrian Hackney. I am a musical artist, and I've worked with Jarard Kenneth on several projects. He's recorded for me. He's helped me with vocals, helped me with mic placement, helped me with how to engineer, how to EQ, and how to set up tracks to where they flow. Even now, he's ahead of the game when it comes to audio engineering and producing. He has a great ear for music, and he's really in tune with what artists and the genre is doing. So he's a great asset to any company, any studio, any business, any record label, any artist looking for someone who can engineer, but someone who can give good feedback, good criticism, constructive criticism to help you get better.
This is Tony Dabney, recording artist from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And Jay Delight, Jarard Arnold, all the names he goes by, he has a lot of names because he's just so multi-talented. I don't think I've ever worked with a person more talented than him. Not only can he sing, but he can make beats, he can play, he can do so many different things and can actually teach vocals and stuff. And I honestly wouldn't have been able to get the albums. I'm releasing my 12th album today. He's helped me on so many albums. He's put vocals on them, he's made beats, he's produced a lot of songs, a lot of music that I have, and my music wouldn't be where it is right now without Jarard. Very talented person, top of the line person. I'd recommend anybody to work with him.
Jarard was so good at producing and mixing my vocals for me. We just did a recent track called Close to Me, and he audio engineered that and was really good at it.
Hello, my name is Charles, one of the hosts for the Annie Hoshi podcast. I just wanted to speak to Jarard's integrity and his hard work ethic. Jarard has been editing my podcast for close to a year now, and I couldn't be more satisfied. His quality is top notch, and so is his flexibility. Anytime that we've reached out to him regarding music or anything as far as how he edits, he's always been open and receptive to give us good feedback and to do almost anything we've asked. He has amazingly fast turnaround times, and for a lot of us, that makes all the difference in the world. And more than anything, his greatest asset to himself, I would say, is his creativity. Even when we don't see things, even when we don't hear things, he does. And that makes all the difference. I can't recommend anybody better than I can, Jarard. Thank you, sir.
With that said, thank you so much for viewing and listening to my presentation/application to be a part of the team with Empire. And I look forward to seeing and hearing from you very soon. Have a great day.